This is it. We're rolling episode 607. No Laugh Track podcast here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My guest this week has been on this podcast before, but not as a headliner, not as a solo act. Elise Cole is here because she headlined last night. She headlined a month ago, and she's here right now. Hello.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, for refresh people's memories, the one time you did this was when you did Crash and Burn.
Yes.
A few years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
It was, I think, fall of 22, because I had just had Max.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The one who's a 3-year-old now.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. And, that's right, I met him. It was a little fart back then.
I had to bring him. And so my dad was watching him while we did the podcast, and then Greg Coleman insisted on holding him for a little while before I put him back in his car seat.
That's right, Uncle Greg. It's all coming back now. That's right. Let's see. So that was with Jim Flanagan was his name.
Jimmy Flanagan,
Need to get him to come
Coleman.
back here. I have to ask, do you use any jokes that you did?
Yeah.
At Crash and Burn Week?
30% of what I recorded last night was stuff from Crash and Burn that I've been kind of like honing and reworking over the last 2 years.
No kidding.
Yeah. That was a great time.
Wow. Does Slagle know that much from Crash and Burn survives?
Yes, and because I've opened for Slagle twice, and so he was like, "It's so fun to see Crash and Burn jokes like become a part of a feature set." And he's like, "Because I know that it's your work, but I also sort of feel like they're my babies a little bit."
Yes.
And I'm like, 100%. Because I mean, some of those tags were his because we workshop, during Crash and Burn. So it was like, "Oh yeah, Slagle gave me that line."
Yeah. Have you done anything like that since then? Like written, like really hardcore writing with somebody else?
Not that hardcore. Not with other people. I wish that I had. I've done Punchline Punch Out with Andy Erickson and Trevor Anderson a couple times.
Yeah.
But not like Crash and Burn. And it's a dream. I wish I could do it every year.
Yeah. Well, you keep saying that. You probably get asked back again. That's how that happens. You keep saying how much you liked it, and you get asked back again. So let's talk about last night. So did you record? You recorded last night, but also when you headlined a month ago or so, right?
Yes, on the 27th.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that always the plan, or was it just you didn't get everything the first night?
I didn't get everything the first night. I was I had recorded what I thought was going to be an album back in like December of 23. But I was featuring that week for Harmston. It was when he recorded his album, and that the label said, well, since we're already there, we can record you too, and we'll do it. And I found that it was just like, ended up being impossible to get the hour that I wanted from 5 different 30-minute sets that didn't all have the same jokes in them, because you can't do a callback to something that you don't do the setup for in an earlier joke. And I was like, that was a jigsaw puzzle that I had no idea how to do.
Have you ever accidentally done that? Done the callback to something that they never heard? Have you ever done that?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And then I don't ever realize it during my set, because I'm like, this is going to crush. I can't wait to say it. And then it comes out of my mouth and everyone's like, what? And I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't tell that joke. It doesn't even occur to me in the moment. I'm like, oh, that's weird that they wouldn't laugh at that. It's such a good callback.
It always hits. What the hell?
Yeah, and then I'll listen to the recording like 2 days later, and I'm like, it's because I didn't tell the joke.
Yeah, your fault, not their fault.
That's fine. So I 100% have. And so on the 27th, I knew I was going to be recording that night, and I thought, I know all this material. I've been honing it for a couple of years. There are a few new pieces, but I think I know where I want to put them, and it won't be a big deal. And then when I started thinking about keeping the timing of each joke between 2 minutes and 4 minutes and 30 seconds for, best shot at getting on the radio, I was like, oh, dang, I have to take this out, this out, this out, and this out. And if I want these jokes to go in this order, then the way that I've been transitioning from one joke to another, it was another jigsaw puzzle.
Wow.
Transitioning from one joke to another is now different. It's not the same. If I don't go from like Catholic school right into the side hustle, if there's a joke in between, I have to write 2 new transitions.
Wow.
So
interesting.
On the 27th, I was like, I used the 3 days leading up to that basically to like reinvent the wheel. And the wheel wasn't round when I got here on the 27th.
Okay.
It was okay. It was a decent show, but I was like, a lot of this isn't going to make any sense.
Huh. So when this finally comes out, will there be stuff from both nights?
I think so.
Or just last night? Last night was great.
Last night was that was a dream come true. I was like, yep, I said everything that I wanted to say.
You did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one of my big things was like, God, there's at least 5 jokes that could be like TB clean if I just didn't say fuck. And I just needed just one time, just the punchline. I just have to not say fuck in the punchline. It's all I have to do. And so I was like, okay, just make sure do, these 5 jokes up top without any swear words at all. And then I will have a real shot at like getting played on some of the clear channels if any of them get picked up.
Yeah. So there is an album that you did that's out there already.
Yeah. Real Hot Dum Dums.
Yeah. And that hasn't got any airplay?
I don't think so. I mean, some of the people from local radio stations have pulled clips from like stuff I've posted online that are from that first album. And I'm like, how you managed to find 60 seconds in that first album where I didn't say a 4-letter word is beyond me, but kudos.
So there was no effort made in that one?
None at all.
Okay.
No, because I was like, well, even if you take out every 4-letter word, I opened with a joke about my reproductive rights, and then I talked about George Floyd and all the anti-Semitism in the world. I was like, this is not going on the Jim Gaffigan channel. Like, it's just not. And so I was like, what's the point in taking out the swear words?
You're saying that's not going to be in the Foxworthy next network?
Probably not. Probably not.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
now I'm like, okay, there is stuff where it really doesn't have anything to do with stuff that is topical or political or is divisive in any way. And if I just don't say fuck, then that's a clean joke.
I want to ask you about something. So I know that they do a thing, people know about this, Insider Night. Well,
Yeah.
they'll give tickets away
Yeah.
to people that are on the mailing list for Acme. There's a couple, like once a month, they will offer a night or two where you can get free tickets. And I know that happened on your first night recording. So
Yes.
I'm sure I wasn't here. I assume you had a full house because of that.
And it was the contest.
Oh.
So I had the added advantage of having Acme's entire email list for Insider Night, right? Whoever signs up for that. And then also there, instead of 3 contestants, because it was the semifinals, there were 5 contestants, and I'm sure they all had
brought
bringers.
people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it was sold out within like a couple days,
Yeah.
I think, which it felt amazing, even though I was like, I know that this isn't, there's 7 other comics on the show, but I was like, I have a sold out headlining show at Acme.
Amazing.
And
no,
then
no matter how it happens. And I have to step in right now and say that last night it was not full, but a really good crowd.
yeah, I think
Lot
it
of
was
people.
130 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's the beginning of the school year, and I didn't do any advertising because I've been focusing on this rewrite, and it's not an Insider Night. I'm like,
Exactly.
I'll be happy if 50 people show up, and like just the front seats where the camera angles will at least if these seats are full, I'm good. We'll have fun. We'll have
Way
a good
more
time.
than that.
Yeah, and then they were like, no, there's 130. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, cool. That's for me.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh no, we were on the way home. My wife and I talked a lot about the night, and she was like, "It's so good that many people showed up." And she's recording. That's so great. So.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fun night! I saw. I was looking at some of the comments on. I think of something you posted. Somebody had written that they were bringing 10 friends.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? Those are just fans you have out there on the internet. That's awesome.
Guess I can't remember. Can't remember where I met her. I mean, if it was Tammy, then she is a colleague of one of my best friends, and the only time we ever got to like hang out for any kind of extended period of time was his big gay bachelor party in Las Vegas like 13 years ago. But Tammy and I have stayed in touch on social media since then. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be there with my 10 friends," and I was like, oh, "Yes." All right.
Every performer needs somebody that brings 10 friends. Are you kidding me?
And she was here on the 27th.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, wow, you have no idea what that means.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Let's give some perspective for people that don't know, like the first time you went on a stage, and then how much time between headlining at Acme? How many years was that?
I have to use my son's age as like that's my time marker.
Oh yeah.
I went to my very first open mic ever about 2 months before Josh turned 2, and he'll be 10 this year.
Okay.
So December 2015 so I think it was like October of 2018 I went to my very first open mic ever.
So not really that long ago.
No, it's only been like eight
all.
and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where
9
was that?
years.
In the Twin Cities?
I guess I'm coming up on 8 years, or I'm coming up on 9 years. I'm coming up on 8 years. Yeah, and it was here. So I knew that I wanted to do stand-up, and my friend and I had kind of like dared each other to do a moth story slam, because I was in school for creative writing.
Oh, okay.
And my friend was also a writer, and so we were like, we should take this writing and like do something with it, because we would meet once a week just to do like creative kind of nonfiction writing.
Sure.
And so we had decided to do the Moth Story Slam, and then I had a mentor for a while who was like teaching me kind of the basics of joke writing and stuff, and so I thought, well, I could turn this 5-minute story slam into like a 5-minute kind of long form joke, like how I just tend to tell stories about my life. And it was pre-COVID, so it's at the Amsterdam Bar in downtown St. Paul, and it was packed, standing room only. It was like 350 people, and the story that
I think that's beyond capacity there. I don't think you should say, I'm kidding.
I mean, it was definitely not more than fire code. Definitely not. And it was amazing. All the performers were incredible. Some of the stories were really like, heart wrenching and moving. And I did not know that was people were going to do that, because I was like, I got a funny story. And I got a few like huge laughs, and I just like floated off stage. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. I knew this is what it would feel like. I knew it would be like this. And then I started going to open mics around the Twin Cities. I used to go to Grumpy's every Wednesday night at like 11 p.m. after I got out of class at 9 o'clock at night. I came here on Mondays, but you almost never get on when you're brand new.
Right.
I used to go to House of Comedy on Tuesdays sometimes. Brian Miller had a mic at Red Menace.
Yeah.
Yep. So I went to Red Menace. And I bombed for a long, long time. And then I used my star, because after the fact, somebody was like, you should wait to use your like automatic get on stage star at places like Acme and Sisyphus until you already have a tight 3.
Explain that more for people who don't know what you're talking about.
So if you've never performed at some of the open mics in the Twin Cities, most of the time it's a lottery whether or not you actually get to perform if you sign up. If you put a star by your name and you've never performed, some clubs or rooms will do an automatic, like, you get stage time. If it's your first time, draw a star, we'll put you on. And I knew that I could put a star by my name and automatically get on, but I had no idea what a tight 3 was, really. And I was like, that story at the Moth Story Slam went pretty good. I think I got another one that I can tell. I'll just try to make it shorter. And it wasn't a joke. It was a story. And so I talked for 3 minutes straight with 0 laughs, except for the very last line, which was the punchline.
Yeah.
And that did get a laugh, but 0 laughs for like 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And I was so proud of myself for ending on a laugh and ending at 3 minutes and not running the light, that I was like, that was all right. And then other people were like, that was not all right.
That was something.
That was something. When you only have 3 minutes, it's jokes per second. And I was like, oh.
Wow. And you kept coming back.
Yeah. And I have since told people, like, I think what separates comics who get better from comics who don't is, like, you're either willing to tolerate the discomfort of bombing like that, or you're not.
Did you? Was there anything in your life that prepared you for bombing, like some sort of performance in front of people, or just anything where you're like, you can handle embarrassment or the uncomfortableness?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. So I did competitive gymnastics for 10 years, and that was all of our competitions are in front of a couple hundred people. It's other teams, and it's those gymnast parents and their siblings and all the coaches and the judges, and there's choreography, and so it's like. I had been performing in that way since I was like, 7. I did that from the time I was 7 until I was 16.
Okay.
So I was used to that. But I also, it's not like I have to work my way up to performing. My default is that I'm already performing something. I just need a space to do it. So where some people are like, oh, public speaking is my biggest fear. I'm like, That's all I want to do. I want people to listen to me.
Yeah.
I got shit to say. So I didn't have to I don't care. I don't care if I would go to open mics and say whatever I wanted. And if people didn't laugh, it was like, I'll try again tomorrow.
When you were in school and a teacher was like, all right, we're going to start the presentations today. Who wants to go first? Were you like, yes, I want to go first?
100%.
Really? Every
yeah.
time?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was, maybe they'll forget and run out of time for everybody.
And I did a bit about this last night. My maiden name was Ijadi.
Yes.
And we're all small. I'm 5'1". My dad is like 5'3". His dad was like 5'2". And we're all performers. All of us have been. Me, my dad, his father. And so my husband likes to call it the Ijadi bravado. Like when it came to a class presentation, even if I wasn't prepared, and they're like, who wants to go first? Having done no research and having zero knowledge of the topic or the context, I'd be like, I can do this. Let me in. Let me at it.
I can wing
in,
it with
coach.
confidence.
Yes,
Yeah.
wing it with confidence. 100%.
Funny. That's so funny. What were you said you were going to school for creative writing?
Yeah.
What were you going to turn that into? Because you not exactly stand-up wasn't your plan. So
No,
what was that going to be?
I didn't think that stand-up was like a real job. Like I didn't even know that we had comedy open mics in the Twin Cities. And so it was like, I thought if you wanted to be a comedian, you had to be someplace like LA or New York.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you go from like, I've never even been to an open mic to like an Eddie Murphy level stand-up comedy special that falls into the canons of this, this field, this art.
Yeah.
And I was like, that just seems impossible. So I'll just be a funny writer.
Okay.
And David Sedaris was like one of my favorite authors, still is.
Yeah.
I remember reading Me Talk Pretty one day, and the chapter, A Shiner Like a Diamond, where he's talking about when his sister Amy gets her makeup done for a photo shoot to look like she's been just beaten to shit. And I remember my dad reading that chapter aloud to me when I was like 16 or 17. And we're both crying. Like he can't even read because we're laughing so hard. And I was like, I didn't know a book could be that funny. I didn't know you could evoke that kind of response from somebody like on a page.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just be a funny writer. I had always loved writing. I had always excelled at it. And so I was like, this is what I'll go to school for because it's what my passion is. And I'll figure out what I can do with that later.
Okay. Are you doing long form writing now?
I mean, kind of. I basically had to write the first version of like a memoir or a collection of personal essays for my thesis. So I have 140 pages of kind of like my life's story up to 2021.
Oh, wow.
And I got really great feedback on it from my advisory panel. But I didn't send it out anywhere. They told me to, but I didn't because I had started doing stand-up already at that point, and I was like, I really want to focus on this.
Yeah.
So that's just still sitting in my computer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I would describe, for people who haven't seen you, I would describe your comedy as you talk about yourself quite a bit. There's some socio-political kind of like what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
right? So there's a lot of that. I saw you post online months ago about getting your first complaint letter.
Oh.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
But actually, I want to pose this question differently. What is a bigger, how do I say this? What's a bigger I've made it in comedy moment? Headlining Acme or getting a complaint letter?
I really don't know. I think that's neck and neck.
Okay.
But I didn't know that prior to getting the letter. Like I had, okay, so I talk about things that are political or socio-political or subjects that can generally be pretty divisive. But and here's the thing, it's not because I care. I don't want to talk about politics, but I have a kid who has questions about the world and I have to answer them. And so and then it ends up being funny because I'm like, again, I don't know, man. We're both going to find this out together.
Yeah, it's such an interesting angle, the way that you cover that stuff.
It's like, when he asks me about something that's like the death of George Floyd, I'm like, okay, how do I explain this to a 4-year-old? So it's like I never wanted to talk about like race, religion, or politics, but I have a kid who's like, hey, what's up with all this race, religion, and politics? And then it ends up being really funny. So I still, even though I've said things that people on the far left disagree with and don't like and are upset by, I still consider myself to be squarely left of center.
Sure.
And I think all of my comedy has that kind of liberal bent to it. And somehow this woman heard every joke that I told about how dumb racist, Islamophobic, homophobic people are. She heard all of those jokes and somehow thought that that's what I was saying.
Okay.
So she wrote a letter. It was, a full page, 4 paragraphs of like, she accused me of inciting violence against people in the community because of their religion. And I was like, who said, where? How could you possibly? I said you can't attack. What do you mean? And so at first, so here's what happened. I walk in to get my check because I had lost one, and I was like, Brandon, I need a new check. And then I was at Acme. I was like, I found the check. I don't need a new one. So I go into the office. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon just to tell Brandon, like, hey, I found the check. Tell payroll they don't have to write another one. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. Oh, before you go, I have something for you. And I was like, what is it? He goes, I have something for you from Lewis. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't wonder what Lewis could possibly want to give me. I was like, I don't think he knows me. I don't know him that well. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's like a W-9 or something. Yeah. And then he goes, yeah, somebody complained about you, and they wrote a letter to the club complaining about your set last week. And my whole body went cold. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. This is my you're fired letter this is my pink slip is what's happening. And Brandon goes, anyway, Lewis thought it was so funny. He printed out a copy for you. And I was like, dude, lead with that.
Right.
God. And then there it was. Just, I was like, oh, she didn't hear anything that I said. And so, yeah, so I have it, I framed it, and that's at my house now.
Was there a return email and everything, and did anyone reply?
Oh, her whole last name was on it. And I was like, well, I can't Google her because, like, if I look at any of her profiles, she'll know that it was me. So I had somebody else look her up, and I was like, well, I could find her if I wanted to, but I don't. Not to do anything, but just to, because part of me was like, if I had lost my job, because I was like, that's libel. That's what that is. She went to my employer to say that I was doing things that I did not do. If that had resulted in me losing income or my employment getting terminated, I'd sue her. And so I was like, I want to know who she is.
This is kind of sounds like something that's going on in the world right now, actually.
Is it really? I'm so uninformed.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, you don't know?
No.
Oh my God, breaking news. I was so... your show was so good last night. Thank you. I'm going to tell you right now to your face. Thank you for distracting my wife and I for how we were pretty distraught because right before we got here last night, it was breaking news that Jimmy Kimmel had been pulled from his show and taken off the air because of something he said about you-know-who. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you should go online after we're done here and see the people talking about, is this the end of free speech?
I see. This is another thing that I wish I didn't know about, and now I have to read it.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy, Elise.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. My part of the nightly routine my wife and I have is we don't watch Kimmel's like whole show. I don't even know what time it's on. I think it's on at 10:30 or was, but they would post the monologue. We've been watching that every night probably for as long as I can remember. And last night there wasn't one because he's been pulled off the air. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ew.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I should take back some of the things that I said last night about not being afraid of getting canceled. No, I don't. I don't take it back.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I don't want to get into cancel culture. That phrase isn't even something that's come up on this podcast for a long time.
That's not, because that's not even it. This is outright censorship. This is like top-down totalitarian censorship.
Correct. Yes.
It's not canceling him. This is, you may not speak out against the He's not a,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. How much time do we have left here? Yeah, that's, wow. You have been busy the last 24 hours that you've missed that, because that's been, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say back to last night, it would be weird if I was, like, turning around to, like, look at the woman that was laughing behind me, so I didn't, but she was laughing a lot, which everybody loves. You have to love. I love as an audience member, people having a good time. I could hear her wiping away tears of laughter. For real. Like, I know she was wiping her face. I know she was. I didn't see it. I could hear it. So congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And then I said that, we're on the way home, I said that to my wife. She's like, yeah, I was doing that too. I was fanning myself. I was like getting warm. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, good. I felt that last night from up here, and I didn't feel that on the 27th. Like, there were a few jokes that got a really big pop.
Yeah, okay.
But it was short. It didn't, like, the laughter didn't roll at all. And nobody, I think, had the kind of laughter where, like, something hits you so hard that you can't stop, even when, like, they've already done the tags and they're on to the next joke. But I could hear a few people who I was like, oh, I got them good.
Yeah. You must have been, did you stick around for a while last night?
I did,
You must have, because people were so amped and excited. And,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You sold a little bit of merch?
I did, yep. The T-shirts went a lot better than I thought they would. Not that, I have made those shirts before, and I've sold out of all of them, so I ordered more. But I didn't know. I didn't know if this. Usually, it's more bath bombs than T-shirts, and last night I think it was more T-shirts than bath bombs. Which
of course, there's no merch that has been sold at Acme that has been mentioned more than your bath bombs by other comedians. Just saying, it is the coolest thing ever.
And it was so kismet. It just worked out that way. it's not. Maybe it's not kismet. I think our phones are always listening to us. I started working on that joke about the toaster. My son saying he's going to stick his fork in the toaster to throw the toaster in my bath. And then this woman who makes these toaster bath bombs came up on my TikTok feed. And it was her just a video of her hand dropping a toaster-shaped bath bomb in a tub in response to a comment on one of her videos about, like, you shouldn't be making dark humor bath bombs. That's not appropriate. And so I went to her website and I emailed her and I was like, hey, here's a clip of my joke. Could I, like, order these in bulk and sell them as merch? And she was like, oh, I'm 100% on board with this. And so that was how I ended up with them. And so it's like, we just have this nice little groove going now for a couple of years where I'm supporting another small woman-owned business. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's
really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it will continue to be the most talked about merch sold at this club.
It's so good.
Of all time.
Even if I don't tell the joke, it's funny.
Yeah, right?
The merch is funny on its own, which is all her.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Before we wrap this up, I need to know, do your son, you said your oldest son is 9, right?
Yeah.
Is he aware that he's part of your act and what you do and all that?
Yes.
He is.
He actually, so somebody got a hold of their parents' phone and showed him one of my jokes.
Okay.
On either Instagram or TikTok. And I was like, which one? And it was a pretty tame one, so it ended up being okay. But he knows that he knows that I go to comedy club. When he was in kindergarten, he told his teacher, he's like, my mom is tired on Mondays sometimes because she works at the club all weekend. And I was like, comedy. Mommy works at the comedy club on the weekends.
She be clubbing.
Mommy's at the club till 3 a.m.
She's dancing. She's a dancer.
She's dancing. She comes home with all this cash. No, from the bath bombs. I've got from the bath bombs, baby. Tell people what I do. So he does know what I do, and he also loves stand-up. Like, my parents raised me on stand-up, and so I wanted to share that with my kid. And a couple years ago, he was getting really frustrated with the baby because Max is such a handful.
Sure.
And I said, this is just kind of how babies are. It's temporary. It'll pass. And of course you're frustrated with it. Everybody gets frustrated with it. Here's something that might, help you kind of laugh at it a little bit. And I played for him Louis C.K.'s joke, Pig Newton, where he talks about his 3-year-old just being a 3-year-old and what that's like and how, like, insane it can make you. And first of all, he laughed so hard. I was like, I think he understands like 90% of this, if not all of it. And then I forgot how exquisitely talented he is at, like, memorizing. And he learned it beat for beat. in the second time he heard it. So he can do he can do bits. He's got Chad Daniels bits that he does. He's got Louis C.K. bits that he does. He knows a little Carlin. He loves Dennis Leary's musical comedy. He knows every word to asshole. He knows every word to Merry fucking Christmas.
No.
Oh God, yeah. And so he knows what stand up is. He knows that I do stand up. He knows that I talk about things that happen in our house or in our car.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, at Comedy Club this week, tell him that I said this.
Stop.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. So, yeah.
Hey, Mommy, I farted in the tub. Tell that at the comedy.
Well, now that he knows like Comedy Club is a place where you can get away with swearing, he goes, hey, Mom, he goes, you should at Comedy Club say that your kid said that he thinks his mom's the shit. And I'm like, because it's just an excuse for him to like get away with swearing.
Yeah.
And
He's like a lot of new comedians. It's just he just wants to swear.
Yep.
I'm getting away with this? This is amazing.
Yeah. Like one day we're walking into the coffee shop. We go out for coffee every morning on the way to school. I let him get decaf. He's like a little grown up. And so we're on there.
Briefcase.
Yeah. So he'll get his little decaf iced coffee, and he doesn't even put like sugar and shit in it, just a little cream, and sometimes he'll add water if it's like too strong. So he's got his little iced decaf coffee, and we're walking to the car, and he's like, there's bird poop on the door. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, there's also bird poop on the roof. And I go, I know. And he goes, there's bird poop on the handle. And I was like, dude, I haven't had time to take it to the car wash. And he goes, well, there's just bird shit all over this car. And I'm like, that's so funny. It's so funny. Mom, there's bird shit all over your car. Like, yeah, there fucking is. And then especially if we're like on a roll, when we pull up to school, I'm like, hey, just before you go. And he's like, yeah, I know. No Dennis Leary at school. I'm like, cool. See you later. We give each other the finger instead of like blowing kisses.
No.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. Be good.
Like in front of the school?
Yeah.
No. You don't.
I mean, under the seat so people can't see it. When he gets out the side of the minivan, I put behind the front passenger seat. I'm like, fuck you. He goes, fuck you, Mom. I go, fuck you back. See you at 4. And that's how I send him off to school every day. Fuck you back.
Wow. That is the most adorable thing I've ever heard.
It is. And he's never sworn at school. Not once, ever. Yeah. Not at Sunday school, not at school, not at other kids' houses. I've never gotten a report from another parent. I'm like, he knows that it's not appropriate, but when he's with me, that's like our thing.
Wow.
Fucking knock on wood.
I don't know how it happened, but the other day, maybe my wife was on TikTok. Maybe this was something she was copying from there. I'm not sure, but she asked our 6-year-old daughter what her favorite swear word was. And I'm like, oh my God, what? My attention was like, what could this possibly be? She pauses for a couple seconds and she goes, you're stupid.
they all think stupid is a cuss word. That's my niece, all of my nieces and my oldest son thought forever that the S word was stupid. What are we telling our kids at school? Josh thought that the F word was fat.
Oh.
And I'm like,
well,
I mean,
he's very
kind of, because he asked me, he goes, my friend at school told me that the middle finger means a cuss word. Is that true? When he was like 5, maybe 6. And I said, yes, it does. And he goes, what word is it? And I said, it's the F word. And he goes, no, I know it's the F word, but which F word? And I was like, I'm like, what does he mean? And he goes, is it fucking or fat? It's fuck, but don't say either, I guess, at school.
My goodness.
Which F word? It's better if they know.
Yeah. That's like, you've worked with him, Zach Martina.
Yes.
Yeah, he has the rule with his, but he's stepdad, right? Yeah, and he has the rule with those kids where he's like, you can swear, but you have to know how to use it in a sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Amazing.
And Daniels has a bit about that too, where he's like, it's okay to swear, but I want you you need to come up with 3 other ways to say it.
Yes, that's right.
And for a while I was like, maybe I should institute that as a household rule. It's like, you need to be able to use other words to express yourself, and so that you can choose to use these words, but he already has such an incredible adult like lexicon that I'm not even a little bit worried about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. We should wrap this up. Where do you think, when and where are people going to be able to hear what you did last night here? Any idea?
I have no idea. So this is, I guess I won't use the label's name just in case they don't want it. When I recorded my set in December of 2023, it was with this label, and then I hemmed and hawed on the edits for a while, and they said, that's okay. There's no rush. We're working on a few other albums. It's fine if you don't get to it for a couple months. And then 2024 ended up being just that disaster of a year where for 12 months straight, everyone was so sick.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that on stage last night.
Yeah. So I was like, I literally didn't touch it for a whole year.
Okay.
And then I had material that wasn't on there. And I was like, you know what I want is I would love to have a headline night here so that I could just do the whole hour without breaking it into bits.
Yeah.
And then Lewis called and said, hey, would you want to close the show on the 27th and the 17th? And I was like, yeah. So I just hired someone to record it. And now I have to go back to that label and say, like, this is the album that I want.
Oh.
We have a contract, but it was for material that I recorded in 23. If you're still interested in that material with this new stuff added to it, like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, hopefully there's a label in the wings, and post-production will be a couple months, I would guess, because they didn't know that I was going to be on the docket. So, I probably realistically 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. And then how, like, let's say, I don't know if you do, let's say you have a show next week somewhere. How excited are you to be working in new material?
I am ready. And I think, like, I hadn't written any new material in a while, again, because that 1 year was so hard. I was like, when I got booked for a show, it was like, don't reinvent the wheel. Do the 25, 30 minutes that you have that you know will kill every time, and tell the jokes that you sell the merch for. So, polish that 30, get it done, sell the merch, and do it. And then I wanted to get all that stuff together for the album. And a couple weeks ago, I had just a burst of like 6 new joke ideas. Oh. And I scribbled them all down really fast, but I was like, I can't get distracted by that right now. I need to just get this recording on the 17th done. And as soon as I'm done with that, it doesn't mean I'll never tell those jokes again, but now I can start working on this new stuff. Yeah. So there's stuff in the wings that I'm like, yeah, the next time I get stage time, we're trying this one, we're trying this one, we're trying this one.
Okay, I love it. I'm always on the, I don't perform comedy, so I'm only taking in as a consumer, as, an audience member. And, I'm sure of course that when it's relatable, it makes it that much better. Like when you're like, oh, I know what she's talking about, or, oh, I have an experience with that, or whatever. We'll end it with this, and I'll say that last night you just briefly mentioned, too, about 2024, all these sicknesses in your home, and you mentioned lice 5 times.
5 times.
We just got the message 2 days ago. We got the email. Your child may have been exposed to head lice. On the 5th day of the school year?
Yeah.
6th day of the school years?
You know what you do? Because I am a pro at it now. You can go to like the clinics where they do the special, like they freeze them off and they'll do the comb check and everything. The very best thing you can do, and every piece of like medical literature out there says this, you have to order one of the special knit combs off of Amazon, not the ones that come in the
kit?
Yeah, in the kit, because the tines aren't close enough together to get the little teeny itty bitty ones. So you just buy like a 3-pack or a 5-pack of the knit combs on Amazon, and you do of nicks or whatever to kill the adult ones, and then you just have to comb them every day.
My wife's like, you don't understand. You never had lice. I'm like, yeah, I did. Like many, many decades ago, and I still have the memory of the bug landing in the sink and fucking crawling away. Like, it was in my head.
I went 41 years without ever getting it, and then I think I had it. I either had it 2 times or I had it 3 of the 5 times that he had it. That's why I cut my hair off. My hair was down to here. It was down to my elbows. And I had after like the fourth time of, even when I didn't have it, I still had to check myself.
Of course.
And so that little tiny comb, we're just raking it through 16 inches of like curly hair.
Thick curls. Oh my God.
It ruined my hair.
I bet.
And it took forever. And I was like, I can't, just cut it off.
Oh my God.
And I cut it up to my chin.
When I go home and tell my wife that, she's going to cry on your behalf.
Oh.
Oh my God.
We're getting there. I'm growing it back out. We're getting there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, we saved the lice talk to the end of the podcast.
We survived. No one's had it in a while. Knock on wood.
All right. Well, congratulations about last night.
Thank you.
Well earned. I've seen you, because you've worked predominantly as a feature here at Acme. I've been seeing you in, parts of this act for several years. And it's so cool to see it like just get better and better and better and better and better. So congrats.
Last
awesome.
night was, it felt amazing. I mean, that was another, like that very first time I ever got on stage. Last night, I just floated out of here. I was like, yeah, that was it. That was what I wanted to get.
Perfect. Let's end it there. Perfect.